Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing the Halloween bots of October on chess.com. From the 350 rated Martin Lectar to the 2,999 rated Monster Danny, or rather Grand Monster Danny. My goal is to win all 5 games. Let's get started with game number 1. Alright, game number 1 is against Martin Lectar. I did not know that Martin had this particular hobby. He says, hello Clarice, I hope you, sorry, was expecting somebody else. I believe a reference to The Silence of the Lambs, possibly one of the scariest movies of all time. We will play e4 instead of d4 because with all due respect to Martin, he's not terribly difficult to checkmate, even if it's his twin brother Martin Lectar, who seems to be rated actually 100 points higher. But do you know what you look like to me? I have a funny feeling this whole entire sort of conversation with Martin Lectar will be references to Silence of the Lambs, which makes perfect sense. We do get pawn to d5, a new friend, let's play. I have a funny feeling this version of Martin is not the kind that you want to quote unquote play with. This isn't a straight jacket, it's just a normal jacket I have trouble getting out of. Sure, Lectar, whatever you say. What I'd really like is a cell with a window, a view, perhaps overlooking an industrial park or a retention pond. Request denied, we're putting you in a coffin 14 feet under the ground. We get queen to a5 with check, I guess bishop d2, just counterattacking the queen. Tell me about your bishop, it's not made of wood, is it? I'm allergic to wood. Tick tock agent, the clock is, oh, this isn't time? Oh, take your time then. Okay, thank you. Queen to b6 will immediately target f7. I'm sure this won't be the last time any of your pieces are threatened. Is that a threat? An indirect one? A quid pro quo then. You take my piece, I'll tell you about my collection of carpet samples. Okay, Martin has more weird hobbies than I thought. We do get pawn to f6 check. Weirdly enough, that actually is very challenging to that knight on g5 to the point that I don't know if I can do anything but retreat it. I mean, there's check, but then g6. Sort of walk into a similar issue. I will move the knight back to h3, I guess. I also have to make the point that I really like the theme that they've done. As you can see, I've had to change the background a little bit because it's not exactly the same as the normal gray chess.com background, but I think it's very thematic. I think it's cool. We do get pawn to g6. Wow, Martin Lectar is actually a very concrete player. We do get pawn to e5. You're one of my best friends, you know that? Oh yeah, we got to wrap up this game before he gets any ideas. We'll play knight to c3, probably just castle out of the way, sure. And then we'll try to lawn mow our way down the middle of the board. We do get c4, which seems to be completely free. Queen to d4. I'd be darned if there isn't an idea there that wins the queen. The guards say I can leave whenever I want. No siree, I'll serve my loitering sentence until I've learned my lesson. Ironic, because loitering means to hang around where you're not supposed to. Queen d4 will play. Oh, bishop e3 actually doesn't trap the queen because there's queen to h4, but knowing Martin, that probably doesn't matter, and I will win the queen anyways. Oh, never mind. Whoa, we're sure this bot is rated 350? That is way better than I thought. Okay, sure, knight b5. I guess I have to actively win. I can't just wait for Martin to give up pieces. To capture a piece, you must understand its nature. The bishop moves like this. Thank you so much, Martin. I'm so happy that I got to take a quick chess lesson with you before getting decapitated and tossed into a hole. Okay, king to f7. You'd imagine I take the free rook. Queen to d4, and I gave him too much credit. I gave him way too much credit. I love playing chess, win or lose. Not win or lose. I have a funny feeling I know how this one ends. Respectfully, Martin. We get bishop takes. I mean, we might as well just sacrifice everything. Dive in with check, drop the knight on e6, and mate shouldn't be that far away. Ooh, that's an interesting move. I guess I have this. It'd be funny if he moved here so I could get knight to e6. Supports the knight and gives check, but instead we get king to e7. I can't think of a better move than that. Absolutely no worries. That will suffice. Knight to e5 does block the queen. Let's go. Pawn to f4. Should Martin take, I take back on e5, opens up the middle of the board, and mate has to follow somewhere soon. We'll take this rook as well. Pawn to h6. You've taken the piece. Was it worth it? It was? That's great news. It was indeed worth it. We'll give check, forces the king to shuffle out of the way. We'll bring the bishop in, and then we'll coordinate mate on f7. Knight to e7. Patience agent. Good things come to those who wait. Plus, waiting is one of my favorite activities. Let's just go d6, boot the knight. We'll take here and threaten mate. Ooh, knight to f5 blocks that idea. Bring the rook into the game as well. Rook to e8 is also mate. Knight to e3 allows me to take this way. Now there's mate on f7 as well, which does win us the first game. Surprisingly challenging for a 350 elo bot. Very well, until next time, agent, and remember, you're my best friend. By no means. By absolutely no means. Let's go to move on to the next bot. All right, the next bot is Check the Clown. Hiya, I'm Check the Clown. I'm here to put a smile on your face. Really, is that what you're gonna do? I have a funny feeling that I really shouldn't believe that. Knight to c3, sure, we'll just play c6. If you don't smile, I will cry. Here comes the emotional manipulation. We'll go d5 right away, striking the center. Pawn to d4, sure, bishop g4. I can't imagine this bot knows to play queen b3. Oh, that was close. Queen to a4 doesn't achieve the same thing though of targeting b7, so we can just play e6 and continue our development. Where did you learn to move your pawns? Clown college? Well, that's ironic, isn't it? Coming from you, send in the clowns. We get rook to g1. Sure, I don't think there's an attacking idea here, so I'll just develop, castle out of the way, and you'd imagine something good will come of the position. Knight to d1 is a rather strange move. It's okay to cry around check the clown. What is black and white and red all over? No, really, what is it? This has stumped me for years. Don't worry, it's just a bad dad joke. We'll castle out of the way. Everybody plays the fool. Well, that feels like a direct response to what I actually said. The answer is newspaper. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Oh, wait. This is my circus and my monkeys. Why did the knight miss school? He was feeling a little hoarse. Haha. So this guy laughs at his jokes, his own jokes, just like I do. Me and this clown have more in common than I thought. We get queen back to c2. I don't think this does anything anymore, right? This bishop sort of sits here waiting for a pin that just doesn't exist anymore. So we'll relocate it to f5, targeting the queen. Whoa, free queen. Okay, I'm starting to think that Martin is just completely underrated. If you guys are out there and you're losing to Martin for whatever reason, try the 800 rated bot and see how you fare. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you again. Oh, there was a funny comedian that did a bit on that. Fool me, what was it? It was like, fool me once, shame on you. Shame, fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice, shame back onto you because you're picking on a weak man. I'm going to blow my big top. Fooled you, we get pawn to c5, which, I mean, hits the bishop, but you'd imagine I just shuffle out of the way and I should be okay. Make me call my friend Pennywise. Oh, I hope to finish this game before you get the chance. From now on, consider this a menacing smile, not a friendly smile. That's more like it. That's what I suspected was going on in the first place, to be honest. You're winning. Do you like making clowns cry? Not all of them, but you. We get bishop to d2. Bishops are no laughing matter. You'd imagine I just take. Opening up against the king in any way, shape, or form has to be beneficial. We'll target e3. We'll just sort of stack pressure on that pinned piece. So bishop to f4. You have a pinned piece paralyzed like this. You just want to stack attackers as many as you can. But when I say that one little old piece will be captured, well, then everybody loses their minds. Is that a Joker reference? Why is that ringing a bell for me? Pop culture references and going over my head are just two peas in a pod. They fly over like Boeings, just so far over I might not even notice them. We get pawn to g3. Imagine I just take, they take, and we bring that pawn out to play for a little bit. Ooh, they take with the pawn. Okay, we'll bring the knight out to play then. Great, we play check. Queen comes out next. We're looking at the knight. Do I look like a guy with a plan? And where's your sense of humor? All right, I'm almost tempted to give up the rook, to be honest. I just don't think it's necessary. So we'll move the rook to a3, queen to f6, rook to e8, what have you, just developing moves. a2 is also free, I've just noticed, so we'll take that. Are you clowning on me? A little bit. Ain't that a pie in the face? I'm just clowning around. All right, we've fallen into just puns at this point. My sides are literally splitting. Get rook to e2, we're targeting g2. Nice, we have check, check, and then mate on e2 to follow. Just a clown emoji. Dodging, what? Excuse me? Dodging your check like check the clown dodges taxes. Check the clown, is that a confession? We have you on video. I don't know if you know, this is going on YouTube. Are you scared of clowns? Are you scared of the IRS? We have queen to e2 with mate. 2 victories under our belt. Let's go to move on to bot number 3. All right, bot number 3 is Edith, rated 1300. We'll play d4. Welcome to my haunted party. You're the only guest. Am I leaving alive? Is the next natural question. You do get pawn to g6. If I win, I get your soul. If you win, I still get your soul. Deal? It doesn't sound like I have much of a choice there, so sure, a deal. Bishop to g7. It looks like we're getting a king's Indian. Don't worry, the game will be over before you know it. I'm not that cruel. Oh, I'm willing to put up a good fight, though. Each move is like a step into the darkness. There is no light at the end of this game. My board is shining. I have a London system on it, so I feel great so far. We'll play bishop to d3. If we do get d6, that would be kind of annoying. If we get d5, that would be a celebratory move. Knight to h5. You'd imagine we just move out of the way. I'm watching you closely, and my eyes never blink. Yeah, that's disturbing. We'll move the bishop back. Should they take, we take back. Unleash the rook. Ooh, they do take. Uh-oh, the walls are closing in on you. Every piece you lose is another part of you that I collect. That's a creepy description of winning my pieces. You do realize my pieces resurrect, don't you? So one of us is playing Crazy House, and the other is not. One by one, they march to die. Do you hear the lullaby? Can you feel the tension building between us? Tension? There is no tension here. The only tension there is here is the battery and the semi-open file I have against that king. Your knight rode right into my trap. I'm starting to think she's seeing things, which somehow would not surprise me at all. This game is like my house, full of dark corners, secrets, and eternal consequences. Oh boy. Okay, so they do take. I mean, I'd have to be crazy to take back with this pawn, surely. I'll take back with the c pawn, because I don't want to open up a file against my king. The problem is, yeah, now there's knight b4. That pawn isn't there to do its job anymore, so a3 has to follow, covering b4, and eventually the goal is possibly even a sacrifice just to get mate on the board. We do get queen to d6. I don't know if a sacrifice is overzealous, though, especially now that the queen queen covers g6. I think it's quite blatantly just not concrete anymore. Get all the protection you can while you can. I hope you're enjoying the party. It's your last one after all. Oh boy, the threats. Here come the threats. Okay, somehow I still think I'm okay. I'm gonna push f4, look for f5, and try to break through this position. Whoa, knight sacrifice. That is either a mistake or a very bad sign. We're gonna go ahead and take and see what we uncover. You'd imagine the bishop just takes back. Now the question is, did I actually miss something? The only thing I think I didn't notice was queen c6 forces a queen trade, which I wouldn't be bothered by at all because I would be up a piece now. Rook shuffles over, I just take on g6. This looks pretty darn good for me. We get pawn to g6. I could even just double up the rooks and take the lazy way out. The problem is there's no actual threat of mate because of that bishop. So maybe I just play f4? I mean, I just put another pawn on f5 and that has to be difficult to defend. I mean, even this I don't think creates any threats. Yeah, queen to c5 and we finally do get a, again, quote unquote forced queen trade, but that's kind of totally fine. Again, I'm up a piece. The last person that threatened me lost custody of their soul and their dog. Oh, that's not a good sign. Well, good thing I don't have a dog. I was thinking about getting a cat though, for obvious reasons, those who know. We'll take on c5. You'd imagine I just move the bishop back and I should be totally okay here. Ah, very good. I've got your queen to paint the town red with. Oh, that's not nice. Other funny thing is that the bishop is no longer on the long diagonal. We'll go ahead and take on g6. Now, how do we continue this attack? Because I do still have an attack. Again, we've traded the queens, but ooh, what about knight b3? Hits the bishop and hits the pawn. You're playing well. Too bad you won't like the ending. I have a funny feeling I will. Let's go. Let's just take on d5. I mean, free is free. Rook shuffles over to f8. Rook to g5. Targets g6. Bishop goes back, which allows check. This king is looking kind of weak here. I would blink if I could, but honestly, who needs eye moisture when you're dead inside? Jesus, this lady is awfully negative. I mean, maybe just realistic. We'll play check and trade off the rooks. Sure, totally fine. King takes back, okay. Knight to d4 to follow. I'm just making sure I'm not falling for any silly tricks, but I always have king to d2. The bishop comes out to d6. How's knight to f5, right? Hits the bishop, hits the rook. Check is the only way out, and I'd have king to d2, but they allow me to take on d6, which means I can recapture. This is better than last week's party. There wasn't enough screaming. Screaming? Who's screaming? King to e7. Play this tricky move looking for rook to e4, which would force a trade. Okay, rook comes down. We'll target the rook. The rook stays on the file, rook to e4. It moves off the file, though. So you'd imagine I play g4 and just defend it. King comes up to f6. Rook to d7, targeting these pawns. Don't look now, but there's something behind you. We do get king to f4. We'll take on a7, and this should be more than enough to take home the victory. It'd be great if she would take on g4 with the rook as well. Okay, we'll move back. Okay, let's not get a draw here by accident. Okay, we'll go king d3 and just move out of the way. She's going to force our hand and probably take here with the rook, but this doesn't work anymore. Oh, rook to g2. Okay, bishop to f5, and I now have two passed pawns. Never mind, I still have all three. So pretty much we just push the pawn now. King can always hide on a4 if we do get checked. So we just push. Pawn to b7. Rook to h8 is the only way to stop it, but then rook to a8 follows. Should they take, we promote with the queen. Should they move out of the way, we promote anyways. Why fight the inevitable? We both know how this ends. That's a good point. I give you permission to resign. Let's wrap up this game and get ready for the afterlife. I mean, the after party. We'll sack the queen for the rook, and we have this nice little discovered check on the king. Did she say pay no mind to the screaming coming from the basement? I have a funny feeling I should be paying mind to what's going on down there. Okay, we promote again. There should be just a ladder's mate on the way. Oh, she decides not to take. We will encourage the idea though with check. You really should look behind you, I will admit. Even though this is just a silly bot on chess.com, it kind of does give me the creeps. King to f3, we'll play check. Oh, I just had ladder's mate here. I don't know why I didn't play that. Okay, we'll go back, check, and queen to h7 is mate. With that, we have 3-4-3. All the bots have been defeated so far. Good game. Want to go again, or do you need to call a priest first? Yeah, I'm getting out of here before I get a hex placed on me. We'll move on to Detective Maya. Trick or treat, let's play a little game. I like that Maya plays d4. Psych, this isn't a game, it's a full-scale investigation. Well, Detective Maya, I've been collecting a lot of evidence over the course of the last 3 games. An entire bowl of candy was swiped from my porch last night. Okay, Maya, we've got Lectar on the loose. We've got a haunted doll. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, the creepy clown. So I feel like somehow that candy is the least of our concerns. We do get knight to c3. So Detective Maya, Lectar was trying to drag me into a hole. The clown told me that his smile was evil, and the doll tried to put a curse on me. What do you think of that? I'm about to crack this case wide open. Well, you've got 3 of them, so I hope we have plenty of Red Bulls for you to make progress on this case. This chessboard doesn't lie, but you tell a different tale, don't you? We're investigating me? Do you have a partner in crime, or do you prefer to go solo? Wait, there's no way I'm a suspect. I didn't do anything. All I did was steal a bowl of candy. We got pawn to e4. Funny how your bishop zigzags just like your story. It's time to plead your case. Okay, we're the suspect here. I see how this is going to be. We'll take on e4 and just castle out of the way. Oh, bishop takes. I bet you've taken making candy from many babies. So what if a man has a hobby? Don't get cute with me, kid. Oh, that was actually almost a good response to what I said. You hide your king like a kid hides behind his mom, but that won't stop me. So tell me, how old were you when you stole your first item? I plead the fifth and I want a lawyer. We get the knight to e2. I mean, defends the pawn on d4, but rook to e8 looks a little annoying unless they trade. Queen to d3. This is very interesting because this doesn't look concrete, but unless I can find a way to break through it, I really don't gain anything from just calling it not concrete. Ooh, what about bishop to f5? Pinning the knight to the queen. Okay, arrows as bad as usual, but you get the idea. You ever see a queen corner a king? You're about to. Try me. And should they take with check, I take back. Queen defends the bishop. Okay, we get f3 instead. There has to be something. Surely there's something here. Is g3 just that strong that it just stops everything in its tracks? It might be, which is very pesky. So what's your end game? What's the real prize here? Is it power or control? I just want to win the game. I just want to be able to play Grand Monster Danny and prove myself. We get rook to d1. I was almost expecting long castles, but luckily the king stays in the center. Is Halloween usually your night to hit big? No, Christmas is, when everybody's running around foolishly smiling while I take their presents. Okay, rook to d1. That's why it's my favorite holiday. Okay, so rook d1 defends d4. How do we continue to stack attackers here? Because everybody's mobilized. The problem is it needs to come all together to crescendo into some sort of, tactic where we win material or checkmate ideally or something of that nature. Okay, how about this? Go bishop to e7, gets this trade off the board and presents bishop to b4. We do get d5. We have this intermezzo, which is quite nice. Also, shout out Southern Chess Spirit, who was the first one to tell me that it's not intermediate move. It's usually called intermezzo. I grew up calling it an intermediate move. It's all fun and games stealing candy, but someone's gonna pay up. Well, it is not me. Have you seen the price of candy these days? Check. What do you do against that? I'm not gonna calculate it. I'm just gonna play it, see what happens. Okay, knight to c3, which makes this a pin again, which is nice. I need to make something of it. This knight is still under attack, so knight to e5 is not irrational. Probably the best way to go about this. Knight to e5. Again, another tempo on that queen on d3, who does move out of the way. Newly targeting this bishop on b4. Does this work? Check here. Check. Looks insane. Surely that leads to something. All right. Any final words? You might be the smartest crook I've ever gone up against, but there's one thing you didn't count on. Me. Try this on for size. Check. Either the king moves out of the way or this falls back. Oh, queen to f2 I didn't think about. Darn it. Didn't think about that at all, actually. Queen to f2. I can't even take here because my own queen is hanging. Ah, well played. If I try to keep the pressure, does that work? I have no idea, but I'm extremely tempted to find out. So queen to f4 is what we're rolling with. You keep running, I'll keep chasing. I'm no amateur in this game. Well, I feel like we're the ones applying pressure. Ooh, this sack is insane here. Check obviously forks the king and the queen. So taking back is a no-brainer. But when we take back with the queen, we hit the rook, we hit the knight with like 3 different pieces. The king is weak. Should I calculate it to the end? Yes. Will I? No. There's also this. I mean, there's just so many good ideas there. Surely that leads to something. This game just went from sweet to sour. Okay, rook g1. The counterattack is developing, but I don't think in time. I think I can just take on e4. There are a lot of scary ideas here. Rats. There we go. That's the reaction we wanted. Bishop to e2. It's a good defensive move. And forces me to do something about my... Ooh, does it? Does it force me to do something about my queen, or can I just move bishop back, pinning the bishop? That'd be such a gangster move. I think it actually works too. We might even be able to just take on d5. Queen takes back, check. Pawn, check. King here, maybe not. Okay, can't get caught with our hand in the cookie jar. So we'll move the bishop back to g6, unveils the pin, and then blocks any attacking ideas down the g file. We get rook to f1 in response. You're good, kid, but not get away with a candy heist good. I'd be willing to bet otherwise. Now, there are ideas of like sacrificing, and then rook to e8. The problem is obviously nobody supports e8, so it doesn't work quite yet. Let's just go queen to g2. Just keep the pressure on e2. I mean, the pin is still there. There's no need to take our eyes off the prize. A3, I mean, that's basically begging me to redirect this way and cause problems on this diagonal. I would say bishop c5, but I can't actually follow up there. I'm a little concerned about this because the pin temporarily disappears, but I don't think it's enough for the opponent to come up with counterplay. So bishop e7 temporarily breaking the pin, I think is okay. Queen to f4 tries to prove otherwise. Been around long enough to know when somebody's hiding something. Not me, I'm not hiding anything. Why would I hide anything? I don't like hiding things. Bishop to g5. Boom, distraction. Something's not adding up here. I don't think she bought our story. Oh, the knight holds on to e2. I totally forgot about that. Well, next time I shouldn't forget about that. Oh, can I even get my queen out of here without trading? I don't think I can. Yeah, that's a good find. Okay, well, you can't win them all, so we'll go ahead and just take, and I guess double up the rooks. Don't really have another choice. So rook to e3 will target this. Maybe they'll play rook g1 and get distracted. No, king to f2 even better, but we'll double up against e2. The pin is now broken though. Your strategy is as transparent as a candy wrapper. This game is turning into one real humdinger. All right, bishop to b5 targets the rook. Rook to e7. I don't like that there's nobody on the back rank, but I don't think the opponent can do anything about it. Sure, they want to get the rook back there and try to get me to play rook to e8. Oh, that's a nice find. Wait a minute. Why am I getting bamboozled? Knight to d5. I didn't even calculate the fact that moving the pawn out of the way was the actual tactic. This isn't just about the candy, it's about principle, but mostly candy. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I'm losing the exchange here. Okay, I actually need to stop reading the text and focus here a little bit, because what on earth am I doing? Okay, we'll do this with the idea that should they capture, I can take with the bishop, and then I'm hitting this. So wherever the king moves that tries to keep pressure on the bishop, I have this check. Oh, the problem is g4. Wow, this is crazy. Whose king is sitting pretty now? I guess yours. I can't really say anything about that. That's a good point. I would very much like to keep the bishops on the board. My concern about bishop c5 is rook to e1. Check, king here, and there's always that back rank mating idea, which is really bad news. I guess I could take this way. Oh, maybe that works. Okay, we'll go bishop c5. And the idea is the king is weak enough that even though obviously there's pesky moves like that, with the active rook and two bishops, there should be a winning idea here. So what about check? That already looks really good. So we'll start with this. If the king moves out of the way, we have discovered check and winning back the exchange. But if the king advances, surely there's something here. Check. Nope, not how the pawn moves. Pawn to g5 check, the king shuffles over. I mean, the bishop is always under attack, so anything that isn't check isn't really a good move, probably. Maybe check this way. The king takes, bishop e3. There's enough there that I'm willing to bite. You're all tricks and stolen treats. Hope you got a good alibi. You're playing with fire, sweet tooth. All right, well, sweet talking me isn't gonna get you out of this. Okay, let's go check here. King to h5, yeah, slippery as a snake, but what do I actually do about this? Got plenty of criminals with their hands in the cookie jar. That's funny. We made that joke earlier. Yeah, and the problem is if I ever retreat the bishop, I drop d6, and this king is in for a not so sweet surprise. But I really don't think I have a lot of choices here. So I guess bishop b6 it is, covers d8, sort of. Okay, bishop back to d3 is not actually that scary. In fact, I could even just trade, and it probably wouldn't be that bad. It's just not really ideal. Now, I'd much rather play like bishop d5, for example. Should they take? I have check. They take again, but I'm sort of back in that limbo of attacking the enemy king, which is what I wanted in the first place. So I'm kind of encouraging them to take my pieces. Check. A blunder. I can see the cracks beneath that shiny coat. Oh, king to h6. So slippery. Okay, what about g4? Looking for bishop to e3. Surely there's no escape. Oh my goodness, bishop takes h7. I might get cooked here. Your king's looking more vulnerable than the last Reese's in the candy bag. Fair point. I have to agree. If I move over, what, bishop g6? Then rook here? I don't know. I might be losing, but I'm willing to play it out. Bishop g6. Okay, there's a couple. Okay, I genuinely need to be concrete here. Check is the first obvious option. Rook to e6 is the second, right? Rook to e6 seems to immediately win the bishop. Oh no, because the rook takes with check. Okay, so that's scratched. Bishop here, check. King to h7. Wow, maybe there's just nothing there. I think I just walked myself into a corner. I don't know. It's possible that a human player would have played this precisely, but since these bots, I believe, are programmed to avoid mate in a certain number of moves, I forgot that it's not as realistic to try to play with these sorts of tricks against a bot. Because against a human player, dragging the king out this far either wouldn't happen, or they probably, as in they probably would have tried to move it back at some point, or they probably would have misstepped by now. Possibly not, but usually that's been my experience. Even down entire pieces, you guys have seen me in the rapid rating climbs come back from positions like way worse than this, precisely because of these ideas, but this bot is just not falling for anything. Yeah, so that bishop is gone. I think rook to e7 is my only chance here. Just try to hold on to the bishop. Like even rook to e6 isn't worth a try because they would never take and allow mate. Guaranteed the bot would take with the rook, I'd move out of the way, and then I'd get discovered checked. So I think rook to e7 is my only try here. Yeah, rook takes d6, not even taking. I guess I'll move out of the way, and now the take will happen. Sure. What are the odds we get rook to e6? No. Okay, we do take back rook to d7. We might as well pack it up. This is pretty much over. I mean, I'll play it out and see if I can make anything of it, but it's extremely unlikely. We'll try to run down and grab this king, or rather grab this pawn, but we get cut off. We'll make some waiting moves, but the king almost guaranteed will climb up. Sure, check. If they pick up this pawn, I'm calling it a day. Okay, we actually lose against a 1700 rated bot. I'll line up for a rematch and try to play this one a little bit more focused. No more reading comments. I can't believe I have to focus against a 1700 rated bot, but here we are, first time for everything. Play g6, bishop g7, just developing my pieces, not looking to reinvent the book. And again, I've already learned I have to play pretty concrete chess and basically just wait for the bot to make a bot style mistake. So keep the position even for as long as possible and wait for the bot to make basically a pre-programmed mistake before I can try to actually play into a win. Sure, bishop g5. Again, there's really no concrete error on the board yet. If anything, maybe there's been a little bit of positional misstepping because it hasn't played super aggressively yet. Yeah, rook to e1 is probably the first example of a real positional mistake. Like for a bot, this would probably be like a dubious move of some kind, because h4, h5 is clearly the preferred choice, but you can see how that's not really a mistake that I can capitalize on, other than, for example, launching my own attack, which is exactly what I'll try to lean into. a3, you'd imagine b3 is the response there. Ooh, they take. Okay, I will take back, and we do get b3. Okay, now f6. I don't think f6 actually works here because knight takes g6 unleashes this against the bishop. So instead, let's just go rook to e8. Again, it's very, very boring. If one of you guys falls asleep before we get to Grand Monster Danny Wrench, then I will not blame you. But this is by far the best way to crack down this sort of bot. Just sort of wait. The bot eventually has to make a mistake. It's in its programming. Like, this is kind of interesting. Queen to d3 is probably just not the best move in the position, but it's not, again, obviously immediately losing. Let's go queen to b8, maybe reroute this way. Sure, they line up with this idea. We'll move the queen out of the way. We do get pawn to h4 a little bit late. Let's go queen to a5. Bishop comes out to g4. Can I just take? Bishop takes, I take on f4. Bishop sacks, I take. Queen to f3 looks pretty darn scary, but maybe queen to f5 is okay. So I think I can just take this. Yeah, rook takes, and then I win a bishop. Oh, the queen! Oh, how did I not see my own queen was hanging? That's absolute insanity. Luckily, the bot gives up the queen right away after, which is also insanity, but we do take with check, move the knight out of the way, and somehow retain the piece. All right, not bad, not bad. We blundered my queen, but somehow I managed to survive. All right, pawn to e5. Holy smokes. All right, rook takes back, and I'm just going to focus on trading off all of the pieces and winning the endgame, just up a clean rook. So rook down. I might even sacrifice. There's knight to b4 now as well, but they move the king out of the way. I actually think I have check here because knight to b4 still catches the king on c2. And king c2 is the only legal move here, so, well, aside from rook to d1, but nice. So we do pick up that rook, move over, protect the passed pawn, try to get it to the other side, grab a queen, and we should be winning that. Shuffle the rook over. Okay, shuffle it down. It can get defended by the pawn on the next move. Sure, we will take back. a2, promote here in just a moment. Nice, that is check. As long as we don't stalemate, this will be mate in a couple of moves. So check, check again, check on d3, and then rook to f1 should be almost mate after queen to f3. I guess I'll just check until it's mate. Check, and queen g2 is in fact mate. Okay, with that, we do defeat Detective Maya and have victories over the first 4 bots. Now for the final boss, Grand Monster Wrench. All right, Grand Monster Danny. They call me the Grand Monster, half Danny, half pawn, all chess. Whatever you say, Grand Monster. You can just call him Grandma for short. So we get knight to f6. We'll play bishop to f4, play a normal London system. c5, easily the most anti-London way to play this. We get pawn to b6. I am chess. Chess is me. Oh, I get it now because there's a pawn in his face. Interesting. Okay, pawn to c3. That's what us pawn-human hybrids call an inaccurate move. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. So we get bishop to b7 by Grand Monster Barbie. We get knight to f3, and we'll just focus on developing. Barbie plays g6. I'm writing another book, Green Squares, How I Became a Chess Monster. Every pawn is my relative. Please do not capture my family members. Don't worry, I have no intent on capturing any of your pawns until you castle, and then I'll go h4, h5, and bust open the king side. What should we have for dinner? Pawn growth? Carbonara? Again? I don't think I'm getting the joke. So he's talking to his pawn growth who wants carbonara. Why is that? Is that just random? We get pawn to d5. That was pawn. Oh my goodness, I don't like that he calls it by name, pawn growth. Ugh. High five, pawn growth. I don't like that at all. Okay, knight to e5. Thank goodness we get d5 so we can just centralize the knight. We do get castles. h4. I do not care that this is a almost, credit where credit is due, almost, but not quite, 3000 rated bot. I will throw all my pieces at it indiscriminately. Let's continue with queen to g4. Take that, 3000 almost, elo bot. We get knight to c6. A natural developing move for a human-turned chess piece. Natural move, but is it any good? We'll play knight to f3. Kind of questioning my attack because by placing the queen on g4, pawn to g4 isn't possible, which means this holds up the entire king side, which is probably not great. Bishop to c8. So what happens if I take? Takes, takes, takes. And I guess that's just a fair trade, which is not really something I'm interested in. But is there anything I can do besides that? Queen to g5 is pretty much the only other option here because I've managed to almost trap my own queen. Why are you staring? Do I have something on my face? Just a small pawny little thing. If we do get f6 after queen g5, I don't really think I have anything there. I mean, I can still take. Problem is they take, I take. It just doesn't look as convincing. We'll just take the knight on c6. It's not really what I wanted to play into, but ooh, what? Queen to e8. Oh, they might just force queen to g5. Okay, sure. I guess I walked myself myself into it by placing the queen there. I was talking a lot of smack earlier, and now I'm kind of concerned about my queen's placement. So the queen takes on c6. Yeah, what do I actually do about this? Queen takes e7? Rook to e8? That's terrifying. I don't think I have better, though. I'm just going to take on e7 and play queen c7. Oh, the knight takes. Pawn believable. Hilarious. And if I take rook to e8, and the queen is gone. Okay, so that's not even worth playing against a 3000 almost elo bot, so I will resign that, but I'm going to give it one more go. One more go. Give me a little rematch. Would you? Give me a rematch and play the exact same thing. I won't play queen g4 this time. So we do get knight to f6. Let's go bishop to f4. And I'm going to play into the exact same thing, hoping it gives me the... hoping it gives me the same opening. We get pawn to g6. It's giving me the same lines as well, so that is a good sign. Bishop g7, sure. Same old, which is good. Now we're just hoping for d5, not d6. Okay, queen to b6. I can just play rook b1. Please, d5. D6 is what we get, which is tough because knight to e5 is really no longer possible. I did play bishop d3, so their bishop couldn't come and uproot our rook, which defends the pawn. Currently attacked by the queen. Oh, and if I move the pawn out of the way, what? Bishop a2? Which would force me to move the rook and allow the queen to take anyways. So b3? Ugly move because it uproots our entire structure. Oh, and there are ideas here while I'm getting demolished. I mean, I probably shouldn't have expected anything less, but it still kind of sucks to see when it happens. Oh, and I have to take with this pawn or this knight, I guess, but then I give up the center with e5 ideas, so that this pawn can hold on to the bishop, but that means this file opens. Jeez, this position sucks. I haven't even done anything yet, and I'm already in huge trouble. Okay. Oh, knight c6. Kind of allows me to save the bishop for a minute. There was also knight to b4, but for some reason it didn't play that. Let's play knight to c4 with tempo on the queen, and then we can shuffle the queen over if knight b4 ever happens. Okay, queen to a6. This is kind of interesting, but I'm going to defend the bishop. We'll go bishop g5, hitting e7. Okay, we do get knight to b4, which we counted on, so we'll move out of the way to protect the bishop. Takes, we'll take back. h6, we'll move the bishop out of the way. And bishop to f5. Now, why does e4 not work? Because surely it doesn't, right? Oh, knight b4 with tempo. Knight b4 with tempo on the queen. I move out of the way. I still kind of like that center, though. Oh, if I move out of the way this way, knight c2. I see. And if I don't block, then I'm just skewered. So I will try e4. And we get knight to f4. Not what I expected. So now queen d3, knight g2. Oh, actually, knight g2 regardless. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I might be toast here. Let's go queen to e2. Oh, queen to e2 is free. Yeah, I'm not even seeing the pieces clearly now. It's just such an overwhelming position. Okay, we'll try this. This will be our last attempt. Takes, queen to h6. This is all out the window. Okay, knight to g2. There's not even an attack there because the bishop just sits here. Pawn-rific. And his pawns are terrible too. Okay, king to f1. You'd imagine drops the bishop. Yeah, we'll take back, which drops the pawn on e4, forks the two rooks, and this position is toast as well. King to e2 bravely defends the two rooks. Realist, wow, it doesn't even take because it knows that I can't get both of these rooks out of danger at the same time. I'm built different. I can see that now. And this is pinned. Yeah, we are getting smushed here. I'm going to line up here with a desperado attack, but almost guaranteed it does diddly squat against. Oh, and there's check. Okay, well, we gave it our best effort. Move the king out of the way. I will gracefully lose this via checkmate, give the opponent their well-deserved mate on the board. Surely, oh, they don't even bring another piece into the attack. They're like, this is enough to get the job done. Try to trade this off. There's just nothing here. Wow, they don't even take back my knight. Insane. Just insanity. Yeah, because how do I stop rook c1? It's literally impossible. Okay, I guess knight d2. And with that, we do get mated. Okay, so we did manage to defeat 4 of the bots, but this grandma is just too much for me. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if any of you guys managed to beat Grand Monster Danny. I'd be very curious to know if there's a Easter egg, like maybe if you play the Halloween Gambit, you win or something like that. That would make a lot of sense. But outside of the scope of this video. So let me know down below if you guys have any fun trivia like that, and I will see you guys in the next one.